extremely happy that Andreas forced me to speak on the Programmatic Meetup and say something about the recent change that major SSPs and to travel audience most important SSPs apart from Google just realized. And I have my notes here, that's very good. So yeah, especially I want to go through some related changes that came along with this change and show those changes from the sales and the buyer's perspective, and also show our specific point of view in that process. Am I loud enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then yeah. So moreover, I'd like to realize this as a discussion, as I believe this topic allows to have different opinions and point of views, and I'm pretty sure we will have a discussion on this. Okay, that was my introduction. So what exactly has happened, or is happening? I tried to break this down to a simple single sentence, and I would say you can basically say SSPs change their logic on how much to charge the winner of an auction. So that's basically it. What has happened? Why is this a problem? I would even say it's not a problem at all. Like always, there's a big but. I really hope that this joke so there's a big but, and I cannot lie. There's a big but. Two other brothers can deny, by the way. And I would like to speak about this but later on. First of all, let's look a bit deeper into auction dynamics. I would like to do a short dive into second price and first price auction, and try to do this quickly because most of you should know everything about it. So, second price auction has been accepted as the major auction type in the programmatic industry from a buyer's perspective, because it turned out to be very fair in terms of the price that you actually have to pay on a single impression. So you all know it. Buyer A on a bid request bids €2. Buyer B bids €10. Buyer B wins the impression. What does he actually have to pay? €2 because it's the second highest bidder. So that's the auction dynamic on second price auction. This situation can lead to different special behaviors and things. One example is this. Don't freak out. So from a buyer's perspective, what you see here actually is some kind of strategic bidding on second price auction, which is basically bidding higher than you're actually willing to pay. That happens often. I can say that definitely from a travel audience perspective. So, for example, this is your bid CPM, your average bid CPM, and this is the price that you're actually willing to pay on average. But sometimes you're even interested in those impressions here. So you're paying more than you're actually willing to pay because you want to have those, as long as your average win price still is below this line. Okay, so bidding higher than you're actually willing to pay, it happens on second price auction. And from a seller's perspective, so sellers don't see this. Okay, sellers see this one. They see the bid CPM of buyers, and so sellers, to sellers, this represents the price that the buyer is actually willing to pay. But they can only charge them this and this and this and this. So there's a lot of space to optimize. They're losing this, and that hurts, of course, from the seller's perspective. So Of course, sellers want to optimize win prices and raise on margins and so on. Yeah. What are the risks for questions? Or anything that you want to add or revise? Do you think that's... No? Okay, good. Thanks. What are the risks for bias? So, like I said, on the sell side, there is a motivation, definitely, to optimize win prices, to raise eCPMs on inventory, and there are different ways to do this. There are also or second price auction also brings the risk for manipulation. We all know it. So if someone, for example, on the sell side is interested in raising the win CPM or the CPMs, that turns out to be pretty easy because you can just step in the auction, manipulate it, and do some stuff that I show here. Again, buyer A bids €2, buyer B bids €10. Now buyer C, the bad buyer C, steps in and bids €9.90 because he sees, sell side sees the highest bid, okay? Bad sell side, I know. So buyer B still wins, but now actually has to pay €9.90. So there is a risk. Sometimes it's manipulation, sometimes it's just fair optimization stuff. But of course there's a motivation to do better than this. What else is a problem? So feel free to discuss on this. It's a huge topic. I would say header bidding and multi-SSP approaches are not working properly anymore on second price auction. Let me look at my notes. Okay, let me show this here, why I would say so. So, multi-SSP approach, you have two SSPs, same impression at the same time, being sold buyer A €2, buyer B €10, we know this, €2, SSP, same impression, same time, buyer C €3, buyer D €5, win price is €3. So these are the internal auctions on SSPs that happens on the same impression. And at the end there is buyer B with €2 and buyer D €3. So the winner is buyer D with €3. Whereas buyer B has been actually willing to pay €10. Okay? Any questions or do you want to? No? Okay. Thanks. So it just shows that there are things that are not working properly. This year it looks complicated, but it isn't actually. So what you see on this axis is the bid prices, and on this axis you see the prices that we actually have to pay. So this is a deal ID that we have that we use with travel audience in terms of programmatic buying, and those little black dots here are impressions, and you see the according bid prices and the win prices to a single impression. So for example, this little let's say this little dot here means we bid €8 and we had to buy €4. Okay, second price auction. And there are a lot of cases. And what you see here, so the green line means this is the 50% line. So 50% of the bid price will be the win price, and this one is the maximum, like the 100% line. You cannot pay more than you have bid. €4, maximum €4 on the payment price. So what I'm trying to say is that what you see here is a second price auction as you would expect to look like, because the little dots here are distributed pretty randomly on the vertical level. So sometimes when you bid €8, sometimes you pay, let's say €4. Sometimes you pay €5, sometimes €6, and so on. So there's no kind of system in it. It doesn't get manipulated. It is a second price auction as you would expect to look like. Whereas this auction definitely is manipulated. It's an example from that we saw in travel audience. It's a deal that we use, and we discovered this. So again, the green line is the 50% line, and first of all, you see that you will never, so regardless of how much you bid, you will never pay less than 50% of the bid price, and that is clearly that's clearly manipulated. And also, all those auctions here, this is not distributed randomly. There's some algorithm doing all those auctions and putting the win price here. Also, I think this is pretty interesting. The red line marks the 85% of the bid price. Everyone following? Okay, you never pay less than 50%, but also not more than 85%. Maybe to not make you suspect anything, right? Because when you pay exactly 100% of your bids here, maybe you take a deeper look into the auction dynamic and try to see what happens. That's my explanation for it, but I don't know. And actually, the seller did admit that they used some kind of dynamic optimization tools. Yeah. Okay, so once again, in comparison, second price auction as it should look like, and second price auction as it looks like when it is manipulated. Why am I showing you this? Because there are problems in second price auction. Let's look into first price auction. So first price auction basically means you have to bid, you have to pay what you're bidding if you win the auction. Okay, so bid price will always be your win price if you win the auction. Like this, we already know this. Buyer A bids €2, buyer B bids €10, still buyer B wins, but now you will have to pay €10. So that means if you break it down, on first price auction, your bid price actually has to reflect the price that you're willing to pay, and that's the main difference between the two auction dynamics, and that's very different from the second price auction. How does the bidder behavior have to change? So first of all, it should become less strategic, I would say, like bidding higher than you're willing to pay, and it should get. We should move to more real auction. And I believe that the bid prices should go down on average at least. So bidding €100 with some buyers are doing this. It may not be so intelligent anymore because you would have to expect that you have to pay €100. Okay. So average bidding price should go down. You should maybe start a bit more progressively on bidding and somehow find your optimal bid price, starting very low and see if you reach your daily impression goals on impressions that you're interested in. Okay? Any questions so far? Am I too fast? Oh, okay, good. So why would anyone want to change? So change is happening currently, or has happened already on major SSPs. So there are also hidden fees. So that's something that I forgot to say. The buyer on second price auction has to accept the price. Okay, so there's no visibility in where the actual win price came from. Sometimes you have hidden fees. You don't know it. You don't see that. And there are manipulated auctions. I've shown it and several other problems. So I would say there is no fair second price auction anymore. Definitely makes a lot of sense to change to the first price auction. From a buyer's perspective, header bidding and multi-SSP issues will be gone. Hopefully, fingers crossed, you can somehow kind of control your maximum win price now. Let's see. And definitely there should be transparent charging now. From a sales perspective, I think that's pretty interesting. Buyers will now have to decide what the impression is really worth to them, and also sellers, they should be able to use this information. What is my impression, what is my inventory actually worth to the buyers outside? Is my floor price that I have set maybe too high because buyers are not bidding anymore 10 euros, 12 euros, but now 30 cents? So I'm very curious on how this will evolve. So there are several reasons why changing to first price auction makes a lot of sense. Now there's the big but that I promised to speak about. If there aren't any questions. No? Okay. So the big but is, as the bidding behavior from first price auction is completely different, or should be completely different to second price auction dynamics. Sellers, buyers, DSPs, they have to know about this change. I do not criticize that the decision has been done to do the change, but I do criticize the way how it has been done. I also tried to tell you a little story. At this year's the Mexico, I promise that's the last thing I'll speak about. At this year's the Mexico, we have been meeting the SSPs, like we always do, and we had some good chats and some nice small talk, and we're reviewing business and having good coffee and stuff. And right before we were about to say goodbye and to leave and wish them a nice after party, they said, by the way, we will start, we have one very nice surprise for you. We will start transparent auctions from now on. And we were like, oh cool, transparent auctions, sounds nice, what is it? And it turned out that it is what SSPs call first price auctions. And then they said, and by the way, now the best thing about this is we will start by next week. And then they were very surprised that we weren't very happy about it. And and then some other SSPs even said, we have been starting it last week, and you should see some good results now. So the thing is, what I felt they didn't understand was it actually caused some financial damage at ours, because we're the DSP, and we have been buying on first price auction bid requests with second price auction logic that caused financial damage, and it took us of course nights over nights to develop fixes and for first price auction logic. Now we're there, that's fine, but the thing is, we always want to improve, and first price auction makes a lot of sense, but it requires some serious technical development, and it takes time, more than 5 days. So I would say that was not okay from the SSP side. That's my point of view, or I would say travel audience point of view, and I would be very happy to hear your opinions and point of views about this.
Just a question.
Yeah.
Was your bidder already able to distinguish or flag in the bid request whether it's a first or second price auction?
No, and that's the thing.
That's what you developed.
So the bidder didn't know, or didn't know that there is any flag about auction type. So the bidder just saw the bid request and handled it as usual. And afterwards, of course, you have to deploy some logic in the bidder that makes the bidder able to distinguish between auction types. Right? Now we can do it, but no one told us. So we had to approach the SSPs actually to ask for the technical specifications and so on.
As this decision comes from the supply side, Have there been any big appetizers or agencies that said like, okay, no guys, we won't buy from you anymore if you do that? Like to the sell side?
I have no clue. So I read about it. I read articles about it, and I would say I'm not, or we are not the only one that had trouble with it. I've seen articles of like big agencies that are doing programmatic buying, and they said the same. Like the information came too late, and they didn't have enough time to develop. And, why is that happening? So yeah, I'm pretty sure that a lot of other players had issues too. Yeah. So that answers the question. Yeah. Boss?
Do you think, since it's an agency kind of discussion that you're having afterwards, do you think this has a positive or a negative impact on the margins that a DSP or an agency will have?
So I think first of all the margins, especially in the process when the demand side has to react on the change and has to build stuff to optimize again and so on, without knowing from the beginning, the margins should raise at the seller side. Okay, so I believe that it will happen, but the demand side will definitely catch up and find logics and find optimizations to raise own margins again. And I think maybe not much will change in the future in terms of margins and like distribution of money in the market. Also, win prices, like in a few months, should be the same. But of course, it's a process of I don't find the English word for it's the process of I don't find the German word. It's a process. I think it's a process.
Christian, you mentioned that Google hasn't implemented that yet.
Yeah.
Why do you think is that, and why do you think it's going to happen in the next months?
Yeah, I think we should ask Google why they didn't do it. But the thing is, Google owns like definitely more than 50% of the market share. So if I was Google, I would definitely also stay calm and don't follow what others are doing, and look at it and let them do mistakes and learn from their mistakes and so on. So maybe that's the reason. But maybe it's because the programmatic ecosystem and the second price auction on Google, it's working fine. So never change a winning team, maybe. But would be interesting to hear Google's opinion.
Do you think Google has a fair second price auction? Because
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't say it's. I wouldn't say it's. I don't know, but I wouldn't say it's Google's fault.
So.
But yeah, but like I said, I think there is no fair second price auction anymore, or it's very rare. So no, I wouldn't say.
They do not have to move because there is no reason to move. So
yeah,
they make the price average.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't move either.
Have you been talking with the publisher houses as well about first price auction, and if they have actually like switched it on in their interface by themselves? And
yes, I would have expected publishers to approach us and let us know that they will change this first price auction now. They didn't do it. Actually, one seller out of 150 or 200 that we're working with did it. So he actually called me and told me, by the way, Christian, we will change from that date and this one, and I was very happy about it. But he was the only one, and they should have done it. Now we're speaking with all the publishers, and they said, oh yeah, we changed it to first price auction a few weeks ago. Did you see it? Good results, right? But yeah, so it was extremely difficult. Yeah.
I just wanted to say something because I'm working for an SSP,
Yeah.
and the thing is that the flag for first price versus second price auction actually exists in OpenRTB standard 2.3. So it has been in place for quite a while. Just to jump in for SSP selling site. They've actually taken their sweet long time to use this flag and to actually use that solution. And on another note, I've been in discussions with advertising schools or agencies, and they agree with what you said first, that it's more clear now what they have to bid, and they prefer a first price auction everywhere versus a mix of a first and a second price auction and a header bidding, where they can't even be sure to buy something, even if they're the highest bidder. So I think in general it's a good change.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a good change. I definitely agree. The thing is, yes, on OpenRTB standard, it's not about the technical detail that I'm criticizing, or if it's there or not. It's more the communication. So communication was a disaster to me. There was no communication, basically. So not with you
We
guys,
should
of course.
actually not integrate it. I did not have to tell them.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.